if you actually look at the market, there's only 5 or 6 really solid coins, and 90% of the coins on the market are going to die, and those 6 or 8 coins are going to go to $100 billion.
The Future Is Now presents, together with Skycoin, Malta Blockchain Summit 2018. Brandon Synth of Skycoin, 10 years in the industry, a company that is affecting change while creating a use case in countries where the need is real.
The most important thing is that it's grassroots, it's bottom up. We don't have to go to the president. We don't have to go to the central government. We don't have to get permission. It's grassroots at the community level, at the people on the ground, giving them a tool that they can now use to improve their lives.
This was a gathering that will forever go down in crypto world's history. A light at the end of the tunnel. A new hope for a different tomorrow in a jurisdiction that can change it all. Skycoin has been at it for 10 years, going through the ups and downs of the industry, surviving several nuclear crypto winters, all the while coming out on top and creating a tangible use case with Skywire, its decentralized internet that is providing high speeds for villages in Africa and the Third World. But also competing with Comcast by working on a 1 gigabit per second internet for $20 a month for the first world countries, including the United States. With over 10,000 nodes globally, Skycoin is creating the world's largest community-powered mesh net, revolutionizing the internet. We met with its founder, a cryptographer with a vision, one of the early developers of Bitcoin, Brandon Synth Smetana, to get the inside scoop on everything in the world of blockchain.
So how are you going to make that change? What's the plan to scale the project and to make a difference in those countries of need where Skycoin technology could be revolutionary?
So there's a mixture of a sort of a public partnership model where you want to work with local governments and corporations and different NGO groups. You have to have boots on the ground. If you're going to build a mesh network in a city, you have to have people there to install the equipment and people who are invested in the network, so people who can earn money from running the nodes. So one of the things is, in order to build a market economy in Africa, you need infrastructure, you need roads, you need power plants, you need telecommunication equipment, you need ways of getting products into the rural Africa, then you need stores in order to be able to sell them, you need supply chains. The development models that have worked in the Western countries are not working in the Third World and the developing world. And so now they're looking at other solutions like blockchain and local community solutions, because development has to happen fundamentally at the bottom level, at the base level, at the village level. It has infrastructure is bottom up. It's not top down. If you give the leader, the president of a country, $100 million, he steals half of it, and then he gives his brother steals half of it, then the mayor steals half of it, and then whoever the mayor pays, the construction company, steals half of it. And to build a school, by the time the money has gotten down to the local level, all of it's been stolen. We don't have to go to the president. We don't have to go to the central government. We don't have to get permission. It's grassroots at the community level, at the people on the ground, giving them a tool that they can now use to improve their lives. This is actually like a personal supercomputer, or a personal cloud that you can have in your house, or if you're for your company or your business. So each of these cards can process 50 megabits per second. So if we're doing a lot of networking and VPN and encryption, you actually need like 40 computers to process all of the data. So this is sort of the backbone for scalable system to support like 20 gigabits, 50 gigabits, 100 gigabits per second. But it's at different stages. So like we just started releasing the hardware project 2 years ago. And then this year we did 1 hardware project. And this year we have another 15 hardware projects. And of those, 4 or 6 will be delivered to the public, like antenna, SkyMiner, hardware wallets. And then we have things like Skywire. So people are really excited about Skywire because Skywire is actually probably the first concrete real-world application of blockchain where we're going to have people actually using blockchain for something that they do every day in their daily lives, that they're paying coins and getting paid and providing networking services. So I'm an insider, and I actually get a lot of inside information. Like I was in Dubai, I went to Dubai Futures, and the government brought us there for 2 months, and I'm there talking like these people in Dubai. And there's this one guy, and he's like, "Hey, you have a crypto exchange?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have some software. We can do that for you." And I'm like, "Well, what's it for?" And then they have these people, and there's a company, and I look it up, and it's like Inner Alpha Group, and it's like owned by the Rothschilds. I'm like, "Okay, Rothschilds want a crypto exchange." Like, what? And then I go to Israel, and I meet these guys, and there's a color coin company, and they got $20 million investment from Soros and Deutsche Bank. And I see this guy, and like Goldman Sachs invested in this, and JP Morgan invested in this, and these really big power players, people that are so big that they're basically like invisible, like they own everything. You don't even, some of these families, some of these companies, these banks are, we're talking about hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars of assets. I know, I'm not sure what I can say publicly, I can say about secrets, but what I know, for example,
give us an exclusive.
Yeah, JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs and the big players, the families and the family offices, they're buying up all the quality crypto assets. Right now, at the same time the public's dumping, they're quietly acquiring massive positions in Bitcoin. And they built infrastructure, and I know this because I talk to the people, the developers. They built infrastructure to allow brokers to buy Bitcoin, to buy Ethereum, and to buy into crypto funds, something like an ETF, where you're going to be able to go into a brokerage account and a pension fund is now going to be able to put 2 or 4 or 6% of their fund into Bitcoin. And they built this infrastructure, and they've been testing it for 6 or 8 months. So Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan know, they pretend like, oh, Bitcoin's bad, we're not going to approve the ETF, we're not going to, but they know that they built the infrastructure. They went to this company and said, do this, do this, do this. They changed the laws to allow them to do it. Talk to them, like, what, Deutsche Bank? Like, okay, you own the financial system. You own the financial system. Why are you investing in blockchain? And they're like, well, if there's this new technology, we might as well own it. You know, we might as well get a piece of the pie. If this is where the growth is, we're going to, even if the new technology is going to destroy their monopoly, they say, well, if our monopoly is going to be destroyed anyways, we might as well own the thing that's going to, the new thing. So their attitude is, they don't care, they're playing the roulette, and they don't care where it lands. They're going to own the whole, you're playing Monopoly, and you're going to land on this house or this house or this house. They don't care because they own all the houses. What we're going to have is 10 million blockchains, where each blockchain is a separate little LLC. It could be like a bakery in Mexico, and they incorporate in Delaware. They put their stock on blockchain, and suddenly the stock becomes a publicly tradable asset, where we have millions or tens of millions of crypto assets, where you can own 2% of a little bakery in Mexico, which is generating money. It's a profitable business. It has the actual storefront. It's been around 30 years. So before, that asset would be too small to be on a public market, to be on the NASDAQ. But with the overhead, the legal overhead, the regulatory overhead, the accounting overhead, the lawyers, all of that stuff, the registration fees, the SEC, the overhead would be so much that even if you could trade that asset, it wouldn't make sense. But with blockchain, we've knocked out the overhead. We've destroyed the lawyers. We got rid of the lawyers. We got rid of the SEC. We got rid of the regulatory fee. We can get that asset on a blockchain for less than $10 a year soon. So it's going to start making sense to even put gift cards on blockchain, put coupons on blockchain, and then create markets for these assets. So there's going to be a $10 trillion asset class for these, not necessarily what we call cryptocurrencies today, but crypto-backed assets, assets on blockchain. So you're going to see these huge asset classes just materialize out of nowhere overnight as the technology matures over the next 10 years.
According to Brandon Synth's Inside, the powers that be will open up the pension funds into Bitcoin and create stocks that will be traded on the blockchain. While the $1 trillion market is sure to come, it will all be managed by the same gatekeepers that 10 years ago Satoshi Nakamoto wanted to counterweigh by introducing the Bitcoin white paper.